This is Hino's Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. I know today, boy, I was going to be talking basketball. I'm about to do that on the live stream, but it ain't nothing without not talking boxing too, man, because we got to get some of this boxing up in here. Listen, here's my take on it. I was able to see all of the fights last night. I was able to see the Dorticos versus the Tabiti fight, all of those zone fights, but I was also able to watch those ESPN Plus fights, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, last night was okay. It was decent. It's actually pretty good. The zone WBSS fights were a lot more entertaining, to be honest with you. Um, Glawaki fight, I don't understand what happened with the referee on that one, but that's neither here nor there. That was crazy within itself, and I think a lot of people can attest to that one. But man, this is what I've been also mentioning as well too. You know what I'm saying? And I've had a few other people, what I'm saying, like-minded that have mentioned it as well too. But Tabiti, man, should not be fighting in no damn Mayweather style, man. Fighting in that Mayweather style, being that big, that's dangerous. And see, this is why I keep telling folks, Mayweather, there's only one Mayweather. Folks want to use the Mayweather terminology loosely and always want to make comparisons. You can't do that. Andrew Tabiti is a bigger guy, so he needs to fight more like a bigger guy that he is. This is why Dorticos was able to KO his ass and get his ass out of there. It was because of the fact that Andrew Tabiti had the wrong game plan. That shoulder roll don't work, man, when you fighting up in that level with size. You kind of have to have more of a scrappier style, If I was Andrew Tabiti, the style, if he wanted to become successful at his weight class, the style that he should have adopted, which would have been beneficial to him because he has a high degree of mental aptitude when it comes to boxing, and he has skills there, is the Andre Ward style. That would have been a more suitable style for him. Because Andre Ward doesn't do a Mayweather style. Andre Ward has a style that's a similitude of all of the sums of parts of people that he modeled. Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., some of Floyd Mayweather. And then all of that sprinkled up into his personality and his style. Andrew Tabiti should have called Andre Ward and say, look, man, I want you to school me. Because now Andre Ward is no longer the competition, right? At some point, Andrew Tabiti, when Andre Ward was fighting, he wanted to fight him. But Andre Ward's been retired for years now. That should have been the guy that he called before this Dorticos fight. That's what I would have called. I wouldn't have gone up against a guy like Yunier, who is known to KO people left and right, not having the prerequisites and the skill set required to beat a guy like that up. And shame, on Andrew Tabiti, and shame on the people around him that gave him the wrong game plan and the wrong style. That style is not going to win you a fight. Not at that weight class. The reason why I say there's one Mayweather is you got to understand. Look at Mayweather's body set. His style is very effective because it's a style for a smaller fighter. It's not a style that's effective for bigger fighters. I'm sorry to say that, but that's just the truth. If you are a bigger fighter, the styles that you need to emulate, if you're trying to move your feet and you're trying to be slick, but at the same time you want to make things ugly and you want to mix it up, is a Andre Ward style, a Muhammad Ali style. That's the style that you need to adopt. I'm not going to say Roy Jones Jr. because there's only one Roy Jones Jr. And you have to have that impressive footwork and that impressive, athleticism. I'm talking about that rare athleticism to be able to say Roy Jones Jr. style. If you don't have that, then you can't emulate that. And see, here's the thing. Although Andrew Tabiti has skills, and although he has some mindset in terms of understanding boxing, he's not the genius level fighter that Floyd Mayweather is. And see, this is where Adrian Broner failed. This is where other fighters like Andre Berto failed. And this is where Tabiti is failing. They're adopting the shoulder roll but they don't have the elite genius mindset that goes with having that style. There's only one other fighter in this modern day era that has been able to be extremely successful at the shoulder roll. And his name is James Toney. That's a bigger guy. But that's because James Toney was a genius within himself. Andrew Tabiti is nowhere near the skill sets or the level of a James Toney. So this is why guys like that, they need to develop a style that's conducive to their skill set. Andrew Tabiti is an athletic guy. So he needs to have more of an athletic boxing style. It's really that simple, man. Folks are not using common sense here, and folks are not stating the obvious for what it is. If I was Andrew Tabiti's trainer, I would have called Andre Ward and say, hey, man, I want you to come into this training camp. I would have called a Bernard Hopkins and say, hey, I want you to come into this training camp so that you could teach this guy some things. I need you to give him some tutelage on his style. That's what I would have done. Because if he's going to emulate a style, it has to be a style that's going to be productive at that weight class. The reason why I mentioned Bernard Hopkins is because guess what? He was more than productive at that weight class. The reason why I mentioned Andre Ward is because he was more than productive at that weight class. You need to get guys that are going to be productive at that weight class that you are currently in. It's really that simple. Floyd Mayweather never fought at your weight class. So his style is not going to be conducive to the weight class that you fight at. You are a bigger guy. So you need a bigger, successful style that's going to be successful at that weight class. It's really that simple, folks. This is why Andrew Tabiti lost. He lost because he had the wrong game plan. And that's conducive in boxing. A lot of times fighters think, oh, well, this is the great Floyd Money Mayweather. You know, if I have his style, then I will be just like him in the ring. Here's the problem. You can have the Philly shell. You can have the shoulder roll all you want, right? But if you don't have the genius mind that comes with it, and you don't know how to make proper and effective adjustments on the fly that Floyd Mayweather can do, because Floyd Mayweather does this adjustment stuff spontaneously. If you can't do that, then I'm sorry to say that style is not going to be beneficial for you. Andrew Tabiti is not that level of a fighter. He can't make adjustments on the fly. It was evident in the Yunier Dorticos fight. And he cannot know how to evade punches. He doesn't know how to step in and step to the side and step out. Because if he did, he wouldn't have got KO'd like he did in that 10th round. It's prevalent, folks. When I saw that fight, I was just like, OMG. Wrong fucking game plan. Why do you have that game plan going into that fight? He was positioning himself in a position to where he could be drawn into the line of fire. And here's the thing, and I'm going to say this. A lot of times when fighters adapt or they develop a Floyd Mayweather style, right? But they don't have the Floyd Mayweather genius mindset, or they don't have the adaptability that Floyd Mayweather has to make the adjustments on the fly. Here's where they become susceptible. There's one way to really fight against the shoulder roll. Even Mayweather has had this problem. But Mayweather, again, had the genius mindset, and Mayweather had the adaptability, and Mayweather had unlimited arsenals in his weaponry to go to in order for him to be able to deflect and to not make himself be in a deficiency to the point where he looks like he's losing the fight. He always made sure the fight boded in his favor because of everything that he did that was on insane levels. I'm talking about insane boxing IQ levels. Everyone else that's not a Floyd Mayweather, here's the problem. If they face a fighter that's a pressure fighter, and when I say pressure, I'm talking about a guy that knows how to pressure you effectively and knows how to smother you and knows how to stop you from being able to roll those punches, you know what I'm saying? And to be able to slip those punches. Then guess what's going to happen? Once that shoulder roll is broken through and broken apart because of a guy that's awkward like that, and a guy that has a smothering style, and a guy that's keeping everything dirty and close quarter, they're going to clip you because you don't have the adaptability that Floyd Mayweather has to be able to still evade in those close quarter situations. If you guys want to understand the mastery of what I'm talking about, go watch Floyd Mayweather when he fought Marcos Maidana the first time. Go really take the time out and do film study Go to the tell of the tape, go into the vault, and you'll see what I'm talking about. A lot of people are like, man, Maidana was taking it to Mayweather, but they weren't using the true boxing eye test, because if they were, they would be able to see how Floyd Mayweather was countering Marcos Maidana in those close quarter wars. There's a reason why the boxing judges gave Mayweather that first fight, because although Marcos Maidana was more busy, right? Although he was pressing the action, right? Although Floyd Mayweather was on the back foot, Floyd Mayweather was able to land the more accurate shots in each and every exchange. This is what makes Floyd Mayweather special. And this is why people need to put respect on Mayweather's name. This is not no flow-mo stuff. This is just stating the obvious for what it is. This is truth-telling at its highest and most truest and most properest levels. This is me being cold-hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat with the truth, folks. And the truth of the fact of the matter is Money Mayweather was special. It's really that simple. If you sit back and slow it down, I mean go in some slow-mo and watch Marcos Maidana shots versus Mayweather shots, you guys will appreciate that. I'm not talking about people that just want to see this come forward style of boxing and they just want to see people trade it up. I'm not talking to those people. They don't understand the sweet science like I do, or people that really appreciate the sweet science. Because the art of the sweet science, if you've heard it even from the great ones, they tell you is hit and don't get hit. If you go and watch that fight, you'll see what I'm talking about. Even in the first fight, Mayweather was landing some of the most accurate and most beautiful punches on Maidana. Slowed his ass down with the effectiveness of how he worked the bottom to the top. There's no fighter, man, that worked that combination of bottom to top like Mayweather did. There's some fighters that focus primarily on the bottom, like a Earl Spence, and there's some fighters that focus primarily on the top, like a Danny Garcia, right? He's a headhunter. But I'm talking about Mayweather and the combination of the top to the bottom and the way that he does it. OMG, man, it's ridiculous. It's off the charts. You can't, this is not something you can measure, man. It's immeasurable. It's like the Hulk strength. It's immeasurable. It's uncalculable because you don't know what to expect. It's so spontaneous. Go look at how he slowed down Maidana each and every round. Because Maidana wasn't coming with the same aggression. He was slowing down. So much so that he was laying on Mayweather. Y'all got to go see that. And Tabiti is not that fighter, folks. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. He doesn't have that ability. So hence, the game plan that he had was wrong. So I say all of this to say this, man. The Mayweather promotions and the Mayweather gym, outside of Mayweather, they have a lot of fighters there, man, that just, they're highly questionable. Because they all think that, oh, if I just try to be like TBE, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to be dominant. You have to follow the style that's going to be conducive to the type of fighter that you are. And this is the thing with fighters, and I'm seeing this, especially with new age fighters. It's a monkey see, monkey do type of thing. They're not going by who they are. They're not going by their own identity. Andrew Tabiti's identity is one of an athletic and one of a fighter that likes to move around. So he needs to find a style that's going to be conducive to that. A Floyd Mayweather Philly shell shoulder roll is not going to be conducive to that style, because that style is a style that basically trades in the pocket and slips punches and basically steps in and steps out and basically switches things up. Basically, you have to be a superior boxer and a high IQ fighter to be able to have that style. You have to be extremely elite. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Is Andrew Tabiti, does he meet any of those prerequisites? No, he doesn't. So hence, this is why he got his ass knocked out. And I'm going to tell you like this, and I'm going to keep it a buck here. If Andrew Tabiti doesn't train in a different style, and he doesn't change things up and shake things up and realize that the Mayweather style is not going to be beneficial to him, guess what's going to happen? His ass is going to get flatlined again, just like that again. This is He Knows His Sport. Checking out.